As shocking as the allegations involving a 13-year-old were, Nas has reportedly revealed even more about Jay-Z's alleged history of underage affairs, and the details are jaw-dropping.
Jay's a bastard. He wants to be number one. So he gonna pick a fight or whatever because he wants everyone to know that you, not me. Alright, so boom. Ether the whole lot.
She says, I'm positive. She points out the tattoo. She talks about the tattoo in vivid detail. Turns out that's completely.
Let's talk about Foxy Brown. At just 15 years old, she was performing explicit lyrics, often on tracks written or produced by Jay-Z. Take Ain't No, for example, a hip-hop classic, but the lyrics are far from appropriate for a teenager. Despite the red flags, Jay-Z continued collaborating with Foxy, and the content only became more explicit as time went on.
Shocked when Jay said the line in Picasso Baby, yes, because we've talked about that. We have a history that supersedes music.
Concerns about their relationship grew beyond the music. Rumors swirled that Jay-Z and Foxy were romantically involved while she was still a teenager. Allegedly, Jay-Z acted as a sugar daddy, reportedly funding her shopping sprees, hair, nails, and other luxuries, hinting at a much deeper influence over her life.
And we know how this business works. We sit back and we laugh at those rumors. We laugh at that. I think he began to feel the pressure because people were saying my age, the age thing. She was 15, 14. She was 15, 14, and after a while that gets to a person. The Jay I know, the Sean I know, never comes out of character.
This isn't just hearsay. Industry insiders have made serious claims about the nature of Jay-Z's relationship with Foxy. One particularly alarming allegation is that Jay-Z may have given Foxy an STD during their rumored relationship.
You're right about that. 50 going that Diddy hard, man. But how you feel about the people that's saying Jay-Z is next?
Yeah, but I have been hearing that a lot. I feel like your girl Jaguar Wright might have been one of the first to really put his name out there. I don't know enough. You know, I will say that Jay-Z, if he was doing ill like that, he was more quiet about it. You know what I mean? He was more, but then, if we be real with ourselves, it was kind of abnormal when he got with Beyonce. Like, she was pretty young when he got with her. There's rumors that he was messing with Foxy Brown when she was pretty young. So there's a lot of those rumors around. You know what I mean? Yeah. And do you hear little things here and there? You know, I'm not gonna lie. When certain people get to a certain level of fame, I don't know why, but you start to hear little about certain people sometimes. And I don't know how many people are really exempt from it. Because if you really think about most of your top celebrities, black celebrities, rappers, I feel like the ones that are at the top for a long time, I feel like I've heard a rumor damn near about all of them.
Many people idolize the power couple era of Jay-Z and Beyonce, but looking back to the early 2000s raises questions. Beyonce was only 18 when they started publicly spending time together, while Jay-Z was nearly 30. The significant age gap and power dynamics are troubling, especially when viewed alongside allegations about Foxy Brown.
Foxy deaf. She deaf because she had the syphilis, because she never got all the venereal disease treated. Y'all should go back and talk to all of that she slept with in Philly when she was in Philly. She burned every last one of them. She got my cousin. She gave my cousin the clap. I think she gave Corrupt the clap like 2 or 3 times. I still didn't understand why he kept.
Oh God, DJ, stop the beat. Oh God, it's some sad news I gotta tell y'all about Foxy Brown. Oh my God, Foxy, I did not know this, Foxy. Girl, Jaguar Wright said the reason why Foxy Brown can't hear is because Jay's, oh God. She said, you know who then gave her. Yeah, you heard it. Yeah, that sis, she gonna say it. Gave her something that and she didn't take the medication for it, and she couldn't get rid of it, and that's why she went deaf. Then she states that Foxy Brown is out here spreading, you know what, like government cheese. Spreading that stuff.
Then, there are the persistent rumors about Jay-Z pursuing Aaliyah when she was just 15 or 16 years old. These allegations have circulated for years and continue to raise serious concerns.
There's so much I want to talk to you about, but while I still have you, we're talking on this topic, let's talk about the ages, because he was after Beyonce when she was before 18, correct? I mean, as we go through the timeline, they claim, oh no, I met him at 18 and then we waited till I was 19, but they knew each other when she was like 15, 16, correct? You clearly had eyes, and it's not the only one, right? There's Aaliyah as well. I was looking at these photos. There's a history of this, right?
Definitely. A lot of people don't realize the timeline, but after everything went bad with Robert Kelly, and he had to divorce Aaliyah, Jay-Z was interested while she was still underage. And as she started spending more time in New York, he was very, very, very right there. She didn't want that. She didn't want that with him. And if there's one thing I can tell you about Sean Carter, being embarrassed and being rejected are things he does not handle well. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you're crazy. He didn't do anything to Big L. He didn't do anything to Lamont Coleman. But I think people tend to forget, if Dame had successfully signed Lamont to Rockefeller, we wouldn't even know about Reasonable Doubt. It would have stayed a cult classic, probably sold 750,000. If Lamont Coleman had signed to Rockefeller, he would have been the star. He's always removed anything that can make him look as average as he is. I don't know how many times they used to tell the story, oh, he has a photographic memory. He remembers all of his lyrics, yet he's always had a teleprompter in the floor at his shows. That's why he would always sit down and look down at make it look like he was looking at his shoes. No, he was reading the lyrics. He is a magician. Everything you see about him is an illusion. But what he loves most is controlling youth.
Jay-Z didn't shy away from flaunting his messy entanglements either. In songs like Is That Your Chicken Takeover, he blatantly bragged about his affair with Carmen, Nas's ex, fueling their feud. Additionally, there are allegations that he exploited and groomed Rihanna early in her career.
I left Rockefeller. It wasn't that I got kicked out of Rockefeller. I left Rockefeller. You understand what I'm saying? The option was there for me to stay. I did not want no parts of it. I was done. I left Rockware. Think about it, bro. I said, all the money, all this I'm out. Now think about, a lot of men would not have made that choice. But any real man would have to make that choice. I was left no choice. He gave me an offer I could not refuse. And we done. You know what I'm saying? You gonna f with this man, you knew he was my girl, you was in love with her. How could you do that? It's obviously you want me to feel away. Like it wasn't enough money for us to do that. So I was done. I thought I was cool about it. Like I was like, I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm just be out. And then I thought I was cool about it. I really did.
So this is after Jay tried to talk to her, but she chose you over him.
You know the timeline, bro. We did the project when she died, which was even more disrespectful. And I'm not getting over that. Well, they're not fighting. It's just, yo, go over there, I go over here. That's what it is. But it doesn't mean hate on me and my money up, but apparently it did.
The controversy doesn't stop there. A recent lawsuit has reignited troubling questions about Jay-Z's past. Jaguar Wright even made shocking claims, suggesting that Blue Ivy might not be Beyoncé's biological child.
There were so many things that happened that no one was aware of. You know,
phones being snatched, calls being made, texts going back and forth between people. All of those things weren't divulged in the songs. These are things that were taking place behind the scene. Memphis Bleak was thrown as like a dart at Nas to just, spark a flame, to, shed a little bit of blood, just to see what was going to happen on the other end.
At one point, you were pregnant by Jay?
Yes, I had a miscarriage.
Okay, this is before.
This was like before all of that.
How far along were you?
I believe I was definitely less than 3 months. It was the first trimester. It wasn't
still early.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't planned. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna have this baby and move forward with our. No.
Okay. When you told Jay that you were pregnant, what was his reaction?
I told him after the fact.
You told him after?
I told him after the
fact.
fact.
So he didn't even know?
No, I told him after the fact.
So, Takeover comes out. And you're saying that Nas and Jay were already sort of communicating with each other in a way?
The beef was already brewing. It was on, if you listen to mixtapes, radio, interviews. We have social media now, so you can see people throwing shade. Back then you couldn't really see it. You had to listen out for it and just be aware of it. But the beef had started way before the songs dropped.
Okay, because I'd heard Is That Your Chick was about you?
Here's the thing. It was, but it wasn't. That was Jay-Z like. Again, Jay-Z is a very subliminal type, you know what I mean? He throws...
Rumors about an alleged son, Rhymer Satterthwaite, have also been circulating for years. Rhymer has spent over a decade trying to prove that Jay-Z is his biological father, adding another layer to the rapper's complex history.
He was a kid at that time, correct?
15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed. Everyone was talking about it. And the 6 hours that she spent with him, and the 4 hours that she spent alone with him with no parental supervision. Her father didn't show up to the next day to come and collect the check.
Well,
this isn't her life.
The rumors were even beyond that, right? That Jay-Z was cheating on Beyonce with her when she was 17 is what a lot of this came out through a publicist who later then
Have
had
you
to
spoken
apologize.
to my friend Jonathan Hay? You should talk to Jonathan.
Please.
Because Jonathan was there. He was right there working with Rihanna. And it was right when they started crafting her to be seen as a brand and commodity only and not a person. And when I talk to Jonathan now, just to hear him when he thinks of his teenage daughters, he was like, Rihanna was the same age my girls are now. I couldn't imagine putting my daughters through what we put her through. And then the next thing you know, she was removed from that first team from Pound the Replay and replaced with all new handlers and kept sheltered in Los Angeles, where she was going out to parties and partying at 15, 16, 17 years old, hanging out at the Rainbow Room, hanging out. Yeah, like it was one of my friends who found out she was 17 when everyone thought she was 21. And he was like, yo, why do y'all got me carrying this girl around? And she's, it's cool.
With all of this coming to light, many wonder if more people will step forward with their own stories. Foxy Brown, in particular, has re-entered the spotlight. Does she have more to reveal? Let us know what you think in the comments.
Speaking of PTSD, you made a comment about this. Like, this was from a Super Bowl appearance more recently. This bothered you, seeing her put the Rockefellers logo out there.
If you
what was
go
your
back
insight to that?
and watch, it was almost as if she didn't want to put her hands up, and then she looked over where Jay-Z's box was, and then you just see her hand. She look at her. She's looking at his box. She didn't want to do it. She didn't even want to do that gig. But the hold, especially the financial hold with the companies and all of the money and all of the strings that he pulled to. He treats these women like shell corporations.
Is that why this happened? Do you have any insight on this infamous elevator video where Solange was seen just unloading on him? Beyonce's there as well.
What I will say is, right there, that's the moment when he told her to back up and called her Tito Jackson.
And respect.
There was,
I love to Tito Jackson, who we just lost recently.
I know. Tito
legend,
could never
yeah.
get a break. And he's the nicest guy.
But here,
yeah,
Jay-Z trying to mimic, she's not worthy, she's nobody, is what he's trying to do.
Pretty much, is what he pretty much said to her. But the thing is there was infidelity that was happening that night. Both of them got caught doing things they weren't supposed to do. I believe there might have been some DV that happened. And people who know Mr. Carter knows he doesn't have a problem with putting his hands on his wife. Plenty of people know that to be true. Solange is different. Allegedly, Solange is different. She's old school Southern, and she loves her big sister, even when her big sister makes mistakes. She stood up for her sister. The most interesting thing about that, though, can we look at that one more time, Andy? They come in, and all of this, and then look, it almost looks like he's going to defend himself, but instead he prostrates himself, right? He lets Solange go nuts, and then he sits there and acts. He knows that camera's there. He knows where all the cameras are in that place.
Let's talk about Foxy Brown. At just 15 years old, she was performing explicit lyrics, often on tracks written or produced by Jay-Z. Take Ain't No, for example, a hip-hop classic, but the lyrics are far from appropriate for a teenager. Despite the red flags, Jay-Z continued collaborating with Foxy, and the content only became more explicit as time went on.
Tell you that Jay-Z is worse, I mean it. At least Diddy is honest about his compulsions and his insanity. Jay-Z's the biggest liar in the world. You are a liar, sir. That's your great skill. You lie. Don't nobody give a but you gotta explain to your family. Like they don't already know. They ain't no different than Diddy's kids. Like you gonna sit down with them twins. Everybody say they 3 sheets to the wind mentally anyway. You probably ain't gotta explain nothing to them. But Blue, you really you got other things to explain to her. Because the way that girl is looking, as she's developing, who would want to believe that she's Kathy White's daughter? Who wants to believe that? I don't.
The story of Kathy White is one that is extremely sad, considering what Jay-Z did to her.
Beyonce and Jay-Z are married, right? And they have a bunch of kids together. Everyone knows Blue Ivy. She was the couple's first child together. And you see this lady right here? That's Kathy White. She was allegedly Jay-Z's mistress for like a really, really long time. Anyways, right around the time that Beyonce got pregnant and announced her pregnancy with Blue, a bunch of news came out that Jay-Z was, of course, messing with Kathy. And I believe the song, people are now saying that the song of Beyonce, Ring the Alarm, is actually about Kathy. Anyways, so Beyonce supposedly called Kathy and was like, hey, don't mess with my man. And right now, as you know, Cowboy Carter was just released, and Beyonce has a song on there called Daughter. And if you look at the lyrics, they're a little sketchy, and people immediately noticed it and were like, wait, what is this song about? Of course, pause to read. And this is the second part, pause to read. So you guys remember this little debacle that Beyonce had a while ago when she was pregnant with Blue and she was on an interview and she bent over and her baby bump basically like collapsed. People were like, we understand Beyonce's having a baby, but maybe she's not carrying the baby, because in celebrity world, that's normal. You know, surrogacy is definitely a thing. But now, ever since Cowboy Carter came out, a bunch of drama has been stirred up all over it. Now everyone thinks that Kathy White is Blue Ivy's actual mom because of the resemblance. But get this part. You ready for this? Kathy passed away on the same year that Blue was born. A relatively healthy 28-year-old Kathy passed away in her apartment of an aneurysm. So a lot of people came out with theories saying like, oh, it was Jay-Z, he just wanted to get rid of her and then they kept the baby and then they raised the baby as their own or whatever. But then you had the little feud between Jay-Z and Kanye. And Kanye came out and said that Jay-Z, got of his mistress because it was a problem with Beyonce. And now with the release of Cowboy Carter, this has kind of stirred everything all up again and people are breaking down the timeline. So supposedly when you line up Kathy's death, it would have put Blue Ivy as like a 6-month-old if you were like gestationally pregnant. So a lot of people believe that she was taken out, and then they took Blue Ivy and raised her as their own, and Beyonce walked around a few months after she announced that she was pregnant with Blue, and that Blue is not her daughter. Of course, all of this is allegedly. Please don't sue me. But the reason that this is all being like stretched out all over again is because of the entire P. Diddy thing. Now people are saying in order for P. Diddy to get kind of out of his situation, he might, you know, snitch on Jay-Z. Of course, allegedly. So I'm gonna wait for updates on this. And of course, I'll fill you in.
Many people idolize the power couple era of Jay-Z and Beyonce, but looking back to the early 2000s raises questions. Beyonce was only 18 when they started publicly spending time together, while Jay-Z was nearly 30. The significant age gap and power dynamics are troubling, especially when viewed alongside allegations about Foxy Brown.
First time I heard that Jay-Z probably was my father when I was 8 years old. And, you know, my mom, we was actually sitting in the house on a regular day, you know, listening to music. My mom came up to me and was like, "Hey, Rob, you know I got something to tell you. That's your dad for real." I'm like, I was shocked, like, "Mom, what are you talking about?" You know, I'm young, like, there's nothing your parents would just make up like that. You don't just say this type of person is your father, Jay-Z, like. I didn't get a fair due process in court. I never got my chance to talk. It basically just all got pushed to the side. Like, this was never about, you know, chasing anybody or trying to receive anything from it. This was like, you know, I'm trying to really see who my dad is. Everyone who really knows me know how I am. I stay to myself. I work every day. I take care of my family. I do my own music. I've been doing music since I was a kid. It's not nothing that just popped up. I ain't just wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm gonna write a song and put it out there, and I'm gonna go follow and try to chase one of these billionaires and say they my dad." No, I've always been me.
Rumors about an alleged son, Rhymer Satterthwaite, have also been circulating for years. Rhymer has spent over a decade trying to prove that Jay-Z is his biological father, adding another layer to the rapper's complex history.
Rhymer Satterthwaite, Wanda's son. She had him when she was 16. It takes 40 weeks to cook a baby. That means she was 15 when she got pregnant. Age of consent in Pennsylvania is 17. Was then, is now. And she was taken across state lines from Pennsylvania to an apartment in New York. Oops.
Oh, the detail.
That's how Rhymer Satterthwaite made it into this world. Take the test. That's fine. We'll give you don't know Debbie. Take the test. You've been ducking this boy's DNA for all his life. Take the test. Do something. You've been dead beating it your whole life. Meanwhile, your daughter's looking more like somebody you used to be with than somebody you married to. Hola.